What's going on, gangsters? This is Movie John.
And Rosie Rhonda.
And you're watching
Recent Watches.
Yeah! We've been to the video station a few times here recently and rented some movies, and we're going to tell you what we think about them. Either thumbs down or thumbs up. First up is Solo. Now, this is one that Rosie Rhonda didn't watch. I rented it. Well, she rented it for me.
I did.
And she had to go work. I think it was on a Wednesday, and I watched it. And the only reason she didn't really watch it is because she hasn't seen any other Star Wars movie. So, we will in time here soon be watching them all. But I wanted to go ahead and watch that because I've been waiting forever, and I didn't go to the theater to see it. And it broke my streak of not seeing Star Wars movies in the theater, I think, since Return of the Jedi. I've seen that one and then all the ones after that. But anyway, it was a pretty good, I would say, not really sequel. It's a prequel in ways. And, you know, after watching all the Star Wars and growing up with Star Wars and stuff like that, it's good to see, you know, like prequels of characters that when they were younger and when they met, like Han Solo did with Chewbacca and all of them. I give it a big thumbs up. It was real good to watch. So if you go back and rewatch all the Star Wars now, where do you put it? I guess it's in between episode 3 and 4, somewhere around there with Before New Hope and Rogue One in between there somewhere. I don't know for sure. I know Rhonda's probably thinking, what the hell's going on here?
Did not grow up on that.
Yeah, didn't grow up on it, but it is pretty cool. I liked a lot of the stuff. Had a lot of good action in it. And the guy that played Han Solo did a really good job, and I guess he must have really studied Harrison Ford over the years and looked back at a lot of the, you know, the old Star Wars with him in it, and just his mannerisms and the way he talked and stuff, and he did a real good job of doing that. And of course, Chewbacca just had to, you know, just be Chewbacca, so they did have a new guy play him, of course. But it was really good, and if you ain't never seen it, go check it out.
And next up is Deep Blue Sea 2.
Part 2.
Part 2.
It's been a while since I've seen the first one. What did you think about this one? Since you did watch this one.
I did watch this one.
Yeah.
And I liked it. I don't think I liked it as good as the first one, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Of course, you always have one guy in it that's trying to think he's doing right, but he's actually doing wrong.
Right.
And it wasn't what I thought it was. It wasn't like one big shark. It was a bunch of little baby sharks.
It was a little different.
Yeah.
I mean,
your favorite word in these things is different. We saying that a lot.
No, I'm sorry.
But it was. You expected like a big shark or whatever, and of course it was.
It wasn't.
It was some kind of certain kind of tiger. It wasn't tiger sharks.
Bull shark.
Bull sharks, and then one of them had a lot of babies. I guess that's what you want to call sharks, and they were the ones that were pretty gruesome and killing everybody. So,
but the ending is they could come out with part 3.
Yeah, just like every other shark movie or horror movie,
right?
They can make a part 3. I give it a thumbs up.
It's a thumbs up.
You give it one? All right then. Next up is Mandy with Nicolas Cage. I didn't even know what to think about this movie when I first started. I don't know. It was really
out there,
crazy. And at first I was thinking, God, I don't know what's going on at times, what's wrong with these people. But then sooner or later it came around to you figuring it out and everything. I don't want to give everything away if no one's seen it or whatever.
But it's a very different role for Nicolas Cage too.
Yeah, he's a little,
also,
I mean, you can get a little eccentric sometimes, get a little crazy, and
yeah.
I don't blame the guy for getting pissed off and going nuts in this movie, but
and I had never heard of this movie.
Well, it didn't come out. It wasn't a mainstream release or anything. It was, you know, one of these that just popped out of nowhere. It's an independent film, I guess, and you know, a lot of these actors are doing that nowadays. So, you know,
just definitely not what you think it is.
Yeah, I mean, I kept hearing about it on you know, social media and stuff, and finally seen it out there after watching some other ones that we've been wanting to see, and we, you know, go ahead and decided to rent it. And I like Nicolas Cage in some of his movies, his earlier movies than his, you know, older movies that came out here in the last so many years. But yeah, he's a hit and miss with me sometimes. But you know, it got better as it went along.
It did. That the beginning is very slow.
Really weirded out too.
Yes, but the house it takes place in is a beautiful home.
Yeah,
I would love to have that house where it's located.
Yeah,
but very slow in the beginning. You're wondering what the hell is going on, and isn't when it's going to start moving.
Yeah,
because it's almost halfway through before it really starts moving.
Yeah, and it starts moving, and then Nicolas Cage snaps and goes ape shit.
Yes, he does.
And pays revenge onto the folks that, you know, did some stuff with his lady. Of course, her name's Mandy, and that's why the movie's called Mandy, I guess. Even though it was really weird, and I don't know, it'll be a while before I probably would watch it again if I did buy it or whatever. But it might be one of them nights where you just want to pop in something crazy and drink a few brewskis and just laugh at it. Because some of it was pretty funny at times too, and we was just like, what are we watching?
Exactly. Because you really have to pay attention when it really starts moving. You have to pay attention to figure out what's going on. But you do figure it out, but you have to pay attention, otherwise you'll miss parts.
And there's some weird creatures in this film too that I just couldn't figure out what was going on, if they are aliens or what. But then later on you find out a little bit more about it and stuff.
Piece it together.
So yeah, Mandy. I don't know.
It's in between. It's in between a thumbs up.
There ain't no in between up. You
there
gotta
has
give
to
it one.
be.
I gave it a thumbs up for gory. It had goriness,
Yes.
I guess. You want goriness. Is that a word? I don't know.
I don't know, but it is
Just
now.
Gore. There was a lot of
Yes.
gore in it. So, yeah. That, I get a thumbs up for that.
That'll
So,
work.
you're going to give it a sideways thumb or
I
something?
am giving it a sideways thumb because it
Now-
is the in between.
Now we have created the sideways thumb, everybody. So, I give it a thumbs up. She gives it a sideways thumbs.
And next up is First Man with Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Space movie?
Space movie, of course. I like the space movies.
I'm not a big fan of them, but it was good.
Yeah, you don't have no aliens or nothing in it. That's the kind, you know.
No, it was more history kind of thing, like step by step what happened from
starting like in 61 all the way up to 69 when they first landed on the moon and everything. And basically he plays Neil Armstrong, the first man that landed on the moon. And
but you get to know a lot more about Neil's personal life and how he got to where he's at. Because some of those things in his life I didn't know.
Yeah. And, you know, it shows a lot with his wife and his kids and all that good stuff. So, as soon as I saw it premiere, you know, I was like, I got to see that because I'm just a sucker for them types of movies, you know, even Gravity, and which you didn't like that much, and Apollo 13, and just all that stuff, history stuff too. I'm into that too, so I like watching them kind of space movies. Anything taking off in a spaceship, I love.
It is a very long movie.
It is pretty long, yeah.
But it's good.
And the last probably 15 minutes I could have done without.
Yeah.
Once they land on the moon, they should
have ended it there.
Yeah, they could have really ended it there, put some words up saying what happened to his family later on, and, you know, all that good stuff. But you know, it was pretty good, I thought, and I'd give it a thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up on The First Man with Ryan Gosling. And if you like them types of movies, you ought to go check it out and rent it or buy it or whatever. And yeah, what's next up?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, that one
Loved it.
really good.
Yes, it was.
It's one of them movies that you can watch and it's like 2.5 hours long and you just don't think you've been sitting there for 2.5 hours long because it's really entertaining. And I like Queen. I've always liked Queen.
Yeah.
And the guy that plays Freddie Mercury is just awesome. He does a real good job. In fact, I think he just won an Oscar.
Yes, he did.
And I think they won 2 or 3 other Oscars. I don't know. It
like
didn't
best film or something.
It
like
might
that,
have, but I know that they said it got a few Oscars. Some things that I don't know. It ain't really like some things you didn't know about him and his life and everything. Of course, he was bisexual and everything. So
but they really didn't focus on that in the movie.
No, I mean they did a little bit at first. He was, I guess, he was married at first, and then he decided to step out and with men or whatever. But yeah, but
it wasn't the main focus of that movie.
It wasn't the main focus.
All.
And I heard there was a lot of other crazy stuff in his life that they just didn't show apparently.
Right.
But yeah, it's sad because you know where it's going and you know that he's going to pass away. But They didn't really focus on the part where he passed away or anything, or where he got sick or anything. He just came out and said he had AIDS. Right. And then they ended it with Farm Aid, which was just like watching a damn concert at the time, because they had, what, 3 or 4 songs in a row. Right. They were just like you was at a concert watching them and stuff, so that was really cool.
But they focused at the end on his relationship with his family when he got sick and was trying to make amends. Yeah. Kind of with himself and his family at the end.
So I give a thumbs up, way up.
Thumbs up. It was good.
Definitely going to be on the list to buy on Blu-ray eventually, and then every once in a while check that out and watch it and stuff. I love a lot of these movies that focus on, you know, artists and stuff and their careers, and some of them I never thought about watching before, and then I watched, and then I started listening to their music. But Queen, I've always liked them. I always liked the music because it was different. They did a lot of different stuff. Exactly. And they even focused that out on there, saying that they didn't want to be the same old rock band. They wanted to do different types of music. So.
Well, remember the company that didn't sign him? Yeah. He went with another company. So it kind of focused on that a little bit and the loss of that. Yeah. But.
And then when they did, hit the camera. When they did. Another one bites the dust. That was more disco there, and they changed a lot. And you know, a lot of people didn't think they should do that. Even the band members didn't even care for it at first.
And I love that song.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they did a lot of great stuff, and I'd give a thumbs up for sure.
Definitely.
And check it out if you've never seen it. Yeah.
Yes, check it out.
Next up is White Boy Rick. The main star, I don't really know his name right off, but they did have Matthew McConaughey in it. And he's hit or miss with me too, because some of his movies, I don't really think he acts that good, but he did really good in this role.
He did, but he personally is a little out there anyway. But
he's out there. But this took place in the 80s. Of course, it was a true story, and the guy's name was Rick, but I can't remember his last name right off. But
this was a movie we have been wanting to see for a long time.
It's basically, you know, he's only like 14 when the movie starts. You know, him and his dad, they sell guns and stuff to people on the streets, and then all of a sudden he gets in with some people, and he learns how to sell drugs, and he's even a informant for, I think that's what you call them, for FBI, and, you know, kind of...
what his life was based on was... And that's where it got him to where he is today. Yeah.
And, of course, you know, doing drugs or selling drugs or whatever, it always ends you up in jail or dead. So you got to watch the story to see what happens to him and everything. Yes. But it's it was really good. It's good, great soundtrack from the 80s stuff. I always like movies based in the 80s. Kind of see what they probably got wrong sometimes, because you're always looking for stuff. They're playing certain songs or something, and it says it was in 84, and I want to see, and trying to think, you know, was that really 84, and see if they messed up anything. But this one, they really got it right on the head with the especially when they went to the roller skates and stuff. They went to the rinks and stuff.
Absolutely.
That was really cool with the Grandmaster Flash stuff that they was playing and everything on there. But, yeah, it's a pretty good story. It was a little long, too,
I was going to say, this was another long movie.
Yeah, but, you know, I didn't really want it to end. I mean, I felt bad at the end, and they update you stuff at the end of it, telling you, you know, over the years since then, what's happened to everybody or whatever. But White Boy Rick was pretty good.
Yes, it was. Thumbs up.
Yeah, and I'll give it a thumbs up, too. Check it out.
And next up is Cloverfield Paradox.
I guess you can call this the third in the series.
Yeah.
Cloverfield, of course, and then 10 Cloverfield Lane, and then this one. And all three of them are really just totally different movies that you don't really have to watch one before the other. This one was basically all in space, a lot of it, you know, basically, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It wasn't what you expected.
No.
But some of it was all right. It almost was like it was trying to rip off Alien, didn't you think?
Yes, very much so.
Trying to rip
because
it
a
off.
lot of very similar scenes.
Yeah.
To Alien.
Yeah, there was a lot of similar stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I said, you don't really have to watch the other ones. My personal favorite was 10 Cloverfield Lane. That was our first movie we ever watched on demand one night on our second date. I got a poster of that movie.
Crazy.
But and I got it on Blu-ray, but I don't think I'd probably buy this one.
No.
Or the poster or anything like that to do with it, and probably might be the only time I ever see it. You know, it wasn't real bad or anything. It just wasn't all that great either, but it did keep my attention at times, and it seemed to get a little bit better, you know, from the beginning.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just get the first one out of all these. I'd give a thumbs down on this one. What do you think?
I'm still in the middle.
You're in the middle, huh?
I am.
Okay, another sideways thumb for her.
I mean, it wasn't horrible.
Yeah.
But just too similar to Alien. I mean,
yeah, it seemed like it was trying to rip out. Nobody
very much so.
Can't hardly compete with Alien nowadays, even though that was made years and years ago. It's
the storyline could have been different,
yeah.
better. The ending, I wasn't quite going where I thought the ending was going to go.
So, who knows, they might make another one and then it'll be completely different from all the other ones, so I don't know.
That's why I'm saying in the middle on this one.
So she's a sideways and I give a thumbs down. One I probably won't add to the collection.
No.
I'll just keep 10 Cloverfield Lane in the collection, so.
He has to keep that one.
I have to keep that one.
Too.
And this one we just rented last night, A Star Is Born. We've been waiting for this for quite a while. It seemed like forever, and it didn't disappoint. It was really, really good.
They won a Grammy too?
Yeah, they won a Grammy too. Lady Gaga.
Best song.
Yeah.
She got on that one.
And Bradley Cooper plays in it.
Oh, yeah.
And I never seen the original or nothing. You never seen the original? The original had Chris Christopherson and Barbara Streisand. So I don't really know and can't compare it to that one. And I'm sure it's a lot different than that one, especially with the music and stuff. But it was really good. I
think they were great together on screen.
They were really good, and he picked her up and just.
And you know that's really him singing.
Yeah, he really sung in that. And but the cool thing is, he picked her up and brought her on stage, and they had the big YouTube moment at the time, and
that was funny.
Got her famous and everything, and then he wanted to keep her on the road and go stuff. And only thing I didn't like is when they decided to give her a contract and record deal or whatever, she kind of turned from that singer-songwriter stuff into look like it was trying to be pop stuff like Jennifer Lopez, and they wanted her to dance and stuff. And she dyed her hair and she wore different outfits. That's the only thing I didn't care for. I wish they had kept her more on like real songwriter singing and stuff like Carole King or something. Right. She actually had a little poster in the back of her on. I don't know if you noticed that of Carole King in her bedroom at the beginning of it when she's there. So that was more like the folk singing and stuff like that. That's why I wish they would have kept that. They seemed like they was trying to do that, but that does sell nowadays and stuff. And of course, Lady Gaga does do that kind of stuff. Yeah. So. But it's a sad ending, though. Very.
I was not expecting that. I did not know that was going to happen.
Yeah, so it was very sad at the ending. That. But it was a really good movie, and it's one that I definitely will add to the collection one day, buy the Blu-ray of that, and I give that a thumbs up big time.
Big time thumbs up. Even the music that he did.
Yeah, just by himself.
Yeah, was great.
Yeah, so.
And they said that he practiced in his basement for months and months. His singing and the guitar playing, because that was him.
Yeah, he did real good. And but yeah, his character had some problems and stuff with alcohol and everything else, and he just couldn't kick the habit there on that. And sometimes all the love in the world can't change it or whatever. But it was good that to see them do that, and just like any of them other types of movies that they sing and stuff, and it's like it was kind of based off of somebody's real life, but it was really good. I really enjoyed it.
If you haven't seen this movie, go get it.
Yeah, you got to get this one. Like I said, we reserved it, and we got a lot of music stuff in this, with this and the Queen movie and everything. But yeah, definitely thumbs up, and definitely will add it to the collection. And that's it for this recent watches. And y'all keep watching movies, and we'll keep renting them and watching them and talk to you about this next time.